Hi, Tony Phillips here. In today's video, we're going to look at one of the most important and critical and underestimated skills for any salesperson, and that's the skill of rapport. Now, what is rapport? Rapport is essentially being in sync with someone else, being on the same wavelength and having a relationship where they like you. Sometimes you might be friends with that person, but more often than not, it's just liking you on a professional basis. And the foundation element to that is trust. So let's have a look at this a little bit further. Traditionally, a lot of sales trainers have looked at rapport and said, well, you go into someone's office and you look at the picture on the wall or an object on their desk, and you talk to them about that for a little bit, and then you start selling. But in medical sales, we need to develop strong rapport to build strong relationships before we can start selling. Because if we don't have the trust there, we're not going to be able to persuade the customer to buy our goods or services. So rapport is critical. It's the first element, or one of the first elements for any sales process. Without rapport, you can't ask good questions because the answers you're going to get, well, may not be the best or the most truthful. Without rapport, you can't go through a sales presentation or show value for a product because people don't trust what you're doing. And without rapport, you can't ask for commitment for the sale and confirm the sale. So rapport is a must-have. It's something that we're constantly building and working on and takes time. But if you know the right skills, you can shorten that time and build higher levels of strong rapport that lead to trusting relationships and more sales. One of my favorite books in all of sales training is a book by Dr. Robert Cialdini called Influence. I really suggest you read it. It's a great book. In the book, he talks about the principles of persuasion. He has 6 principles. And we're going to look at one of them today specifically that relates to rapport. And that's the principle of liking. Now, essentially, we like people like us, which is the foundation of rapport. So, Dr. Cialdini breaks down liking to 2 really important elements: similarities and praise. Now, first we'll look at similarities. And he has lots and lots of research to back this up. Psychological, behavioral science research, lots of studies. And that's one of the reasons I like the book so much, and I'm sure you will too. Now for similarities, he looks at one study that had a group of waiters and their customers. With one group of waiters, they used the principle of mirroring, which is copying someone's behavior. So they were only mirroring language in this case. And so one group of waiters, instead, when they took the order from the customers, all they did was repeat back verbatim what they had said. No, got it, get back to you. The other group of waiters, they didn't repeat back verbatim. They did say things like, coming right up, we'll get it out in a jiffy, or maybe nothing at all. The way they tested to see what difference and how mirroring helped was looking at the size of the tips. So what do you reckon the difference was between the group that used mirroring, mirroring the language that the customers used, and the group that didn't? Well, it's quite staggering, really. The group of waiters that repeated back verbatim the orders had a 70% increase in their tips. Pretty impressive, huh? But what about something closer to home for us medical salespeople? There was another study recently conducted a set of studies where they looked at the art of mirroring, behavioral mirroring this time, so not so much the language but the actions, for a group of people in a negotiation situation. Got you thinking? So in one group, they had the MBA students actually did this study, and they mirrored the behavior of the other person in the negotiation, whether it was sitting back in the chair, folding the arms, crossing the legs. And the other group, they didn't. What do you reckon the results were here for the negotiation process? As you can see by the numbers here, 67% there was an increase in success, I should say, of 67% for the group that used behavioral mirroring, compared to a paltry 12.5% for the group that didn't. Now, this works on the principle of liking. We like people like us. So if we can be more like the customer or more like the person we're talking to, we're going to be more persuasive when we ask them to say yes to a certain situation. It helps us build trust and build that relationship that we need. The other element Dr. Cialdini looked at in his studies was praise. Now, as well as liking people like us, it's been proven that we like people more who like us. So by offering subtle praise and significant praise at the right time, we can show people that we like them. Now, we all like to be liked. So how do we do this in a medical situation? You do not want to over-compliment or give flattery that's unrewarded to doctors or other key decision makers. That'll make us look silly. But it is important to make the opportunities where we can offer praise for something that's done without looking like we're sucking up, because I think that'll just look bad. So I think we should all take note of Dr. Cialdini's work on liking and use liking to our advantage in our sales interactions. One thing that I do want you to take note of is with matching and mirroring. Now, you've probably realized this many times yourself when you've been in a situation and you're really getting on with someone and talking to them, and then you realize that you're both leaning in the same way, or you both got your arms crossed, or you're essentially copying each other's behavior. Many people, me included before I realized this, would tend to break that, would tend not to copy the other person. Now, that is the worst thing that we can do for rapport, because at that stage, you've just broken rapport. So next time you're in that situation where you are copying someone and you are in rapport, keep it going. If you're trying to build rapport faster, look for ways where you can subtly, and the key here is to be subtle, just use the similar body language or similar words, importantly as well, as the customer you're talking to. And praise. Don't forget to sing their praises if it's appropriate. So that's just a really small element of rapport. There's much, much more to it. But I hope you've got something out of today's video. Now remember, leave a comment below if you have anything to say. I'd love to get your feedback. I love the feedback from all the viewers that we've had of previous videos. And take care. Good luck with your selling. I'll speak to you next time.